Do your health goals feel stuck in neutral? There's a reason why, and despite what you may have heard before, it's probably not willpower. Let's face it, by this point in January, most New Year's resolutions are struggling, failing, or already abandoned. And a lot of people have reached a point where they don't just feel discouraged about their health goals, they're actually starting to resent them. What felt motivating a few weeks ago now feels heavy, restrictive, and draining. Either you're forcing yourself to stick with it miserably and wondering if it's even worth it, or it feels like one more thing you're failing at and carrying around in the back of your mind. You want to do better, feel better, be better, but you just can't seem to stick with it. If that's where you are, here's the good news. Most health goals don't fail because people don't care or don't try. Most people care deeply and put in tremendous effort, yet they still don't get the results they're hoping for. And the problem isn't a lack of caring or effort. The problem is how those goals were built in the first place.
This is Docere Digest Podcast, breaking down health concepts. This podcast is brought to you by Docere Life Center. This innovative clinic is finding new solutions to the evolving challenges mankind faces in the 21st century. By utilizing cutting-edge technology and testing, they find root causes and also offer treatment with energy and nutrition. What is the mission? To dynamically change lives for the better while impacting families for generations. The information shared directly or indirectly in the Docere Digest podcast is not to be understood as or misconstrued as medical advice. This information is not a replacement for your current health provider who is acutely aware of your current health state and course of treatment. Any information shared about a product or service discussed by any host or guest on this podcast is not to be interpreted as a doctor-patient relationship.
Hello, I'm Dr. Caleb, and today we are talking about why health goals fail. Every new year brings resolutions, decisions to make changes that we hope will improve our lives. And consistently near the top of that list is health and fitness. But research shows that most New Year's resolutions are abandoned within the first 3 months, many within the first 4 weeks. So why does this keep happening? Well, most people say it's a lack of discipline. And while discipline does matter, I don't think that quite gets to the heart of the issue. Because lack of discipline isn't the cause, it's a symptom of something deeper. Most goals rely almost entirely on motivation, especially at the start of a new year. There's a spark, a desire for change, and mantras of New Year, New You gives a burst of inspiration and energy as you plan a new life. But what's driving that motivation? For some people, it's hope. Hope for what they might gain, become, or experience. For others, it's fear. Fear of a symptom, a diagnosis, or what might happen if things continue down the same path. Sometimes, it's simply the pressure to finally get things together and feel some sense of control again. Whatever the reason, motivation can feel incredibly powerful at first. In fact, it can make you feel like you're ready to move mountains or cross oceans. But motivation is also unstable and fleeting. The moment life gets stressful, sleep drops, emotions get heavy, or responsibilities pile up, motivation just fades. See, motivation is great at starting change, but it's not powerful enough or consistent enough to carry you through the difficult middle, let alone to the end to get the results that you want. So what can carry you? Again, most people would say discipline, and that's not wrong. See, discipline is essential. You can't have the change you want. You can't transform your life the way you want without discipline. But the problem is, discipline on its own requires enormous willpower and energy, especially if you're not already used to living that way. It feels like you're constantly wrestling your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors into submission. And when you're doing that day after day, it drains your peace, your joy, and your energy. You're basically forcing yourself to be miserable in the name of change. Now, you might be able to push through long enough to hit the goal and be able to celebrate, but then maintaining it long term becomes even harder. because forcing misery is not a sustainable path to transformation. After all, most health goals are meant to reduce suffering in our lives, not increase it, right? So if you're struggling right now, you probably know exactly what I mean. Now, again, I'm not saying that discipline isn't important. You won't be able to reach your goals without it. The issue is when discipline has no driving force behind it, nothing to power it, so it doesn't feel so demanding. When discipline is powered properly, it becomes less of a wrestling match and more of a byproduct. Instead of digging into an empty well every day, hoping there's something left, it becomes a wellspring, something that flows from within and makes consistency more natural. So, what is that driving force? Clarity. Most health goals fail because of a lack of clarity, not about what the goal is, but why it matters. What is it connected to? How will your life actually change if you achieve it? When someone isn't clear on why health matters to their life, there's nothing anchoring the goal when things get hard. And this is where one of the biggest problems shows up. Many people treat health and health goals as a destination, as an endpoint, something to reach so they can finally say, I made it, I'm healthy now. At first glance, that sounds reasonable. Shouldn't health be the goal? Yes and no. Yes, because improving health matters, but health isn't the end point, it's the starting point. We don't want to be healthy just to declare that we're healthy. We want to be healthy because of how it impacts our lives. When health becomes the destination, it quickly becomes exhausting and restrictive. It starts competing with life instead of supporting it. And this is why so many goals fall apart. When health is treated as a finish line, progress is measured by outcomes alone. A number on a scale, a lab value, a symptom disappearing. And once the goal is reached, there's no deeper reason to sustain the behaviors that actually got you there. That's how yo-yo dieting happens. Short-term discipline to reach a finish line with no long-term clarity to build a life on. This is where definitions matter. Traditionally, health has been defined as the absence of disease. If nothing is diagnosable and no symptoms are obvious, you're considered healthy. But that definition is purely negative. It tells us what health is not what it is. Health is just the absence of disease. It's not being sick. It's not having a negative condition. But just because something isn't negative doesn't mean it's positive. You remember that number line from elementary school math? Below 0 is negative, above 0 is positive, right? But between the positive and the negative is 0. It could be neutral. And I don't know about you, but neutral or 0 isn't what I want for my life. It isn't what I want for my health. Now, in functional and holistic circles, we often focus on wellness instead. And we usually define that as the active pursuit of healthier behaviors, choices, and lifestyles. Now, that's a better definition. It shows growth, but I feel like even that definition misses the essence of what health truly is. See, health isn't just about what you avoid or what you add. Health is about how fully your life can be lived. Health, or wellness, is the capacity to live life fully, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's the freedom to engage in a life of meaning, purpose, and connection. In other words, health is freedom. When health is present, life expands. More energy, more engagement, more possibility. But when health is compromised, life shrinks. You have fewer experiences, less joy, less happiness, less comfort and peace. This is why clarity around why matters so much. When your true desire is freedom, a greater capacity to live, discipline has something to attach to. This is where asking deeper why questions becomes powerful. For example, one of my goals is to have more energy this year. Why? Because my energy has been lacking and I need more to function better. Okay, well, why does that matter? Because more energy increases my capacity to live and thrive instead of staying in survival mode. Okay, well, why is that important? So I can better live up to my responsibilities to my family and my patients. And then I can go even deeper. Why does that matter? Because it gives my life more meaning, purpose, and joy, and it helps me feel alive. That core why will drive my discipline far more effectively than simply wanting to function better. See, this also highlights something important. While we often build goals logically, they are truly powered by emotion. Deep, meaningful emotion fuels discipline in a way that logic alone or willpower alone never can. There's one more reason goals stall, and this one is a little more subtle, but I feel like it's very powerful. See, many goals are built around omission instead of replacement. Most health goals focus on what to stop, what to cut out, or what to avoid. And when your focus is avoidance, your attention stays locked on the very thing you're trying to escape. That creates tension, not freedom. Replacement works differently. When you replace a negative pattern with a supportive one, your focus shifts naturally. It's similar to gratitude. You don't fight negativity directly, you crowd it out by focusing on what's positive, what's life giving. And this is where healing starts to make sense. Your body isn't broken, it's adaptive and intelligent, constantly responding to the environment that it's in. And with that in mind, symptoms aren't proof of failure, but they're often signs your body is compensating and protecting you with the resources it has available. Healing isn't about forcing change or pushing yourself harder. Most of the time, it's about reducing interference, lowering the total load so the body can redirect energy toward repair and resilience. Real change begins when clarity replaces guesswork. So here's what this comes down to. If you want health goals that actually work, stop asking, what should I do next? And start asking yourself better questions. Questions like, why does my health matter to the life I want to live? What do I want to have the energy, presence, and capacity for? And who do I need to be able to show up as consistently, not just on good days? Build goals around replacement, not restriction. Measure progress by freedom, not perfection. Health doesn't just protect comfort, it protects time, it protects presence, and it protects your ability to be fully available for the people and responsibilities that matter most. And at some point, that foundation becomes a matter of stewardship. Your body isn't something to endlessly experiment on. It's something you've been entrusted with, and how you care for it shapes how fully you're able to live the life you've been given. Health isn't the goal. Health is the ground you stand on when you decide how you're going to live. And stewarding that ground with clarity, humility, and intention is one of the most meaningful responsibilities you carry. So, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What is it that you are trying to build in your life? And what's keeping you from it? What are the interferences, the restrictions, the things that are keeping you from staying consistent or from being able to get the results even though you put the work in? These are the kind of things I help my patients with all the time, finding what's hindering the body from healing and progressing and functioning at a high capacity, and figuring out how we can support the body's natural healing processes so they can build and achieve more freedom in their lives so they can live more fully and completely. If you need help with your journey, you can feel free to contact the clinic and schedule a consultation with me, Dr. Caleb. Until then, I hope your health goals are going well. Hope you're staying strong, staying committed, and I hope you have real strong clarity as far as why you're going for these goals and what you're trying to achieve in your life by attaining this level of health.
Thank you for listening to the Docere Digest podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. You can also find all the episodes and show notes over at docerelifecenter.com. While you're on the website, also be sure to check out the blog where you'll find videos and articles to help you proactively rebalance your health.